a perspective of life outside of America is probably one of the most important things we can do on our particular radio programs. Never before in all the years that I lived in America have I seen so many stories about generational Americans giving serious consideration to leaving the country of their birth and moving south of the border. One only has to watch, in particular, Fox News of late to notice the proliferation of times it runs the commercial inviting folks to pay a visit to and contemplate living in the South American country of Belize, not only because it's a relatively short distance from America, but they speak English, they have a sound banking system, and what most probably is more attractive to many is that the cost of living is substantially less than in the U.S. Speaking of which, if you thought folks in America were angry and upset under present conditions with confusion over Obamacare, give it a couple of months when folks start noticing in the grocery store the full effects of the drought that's taking place in California. We have a local magazine down here in Rosarita Beach. It's called the Gringo Gazette. Quite funny, to be perfectly honest with you, but very informative. It tells you all the good places, where to eat and where to go for medical care and one thing and another. And it also has numerous stories about getting in and out of Mexico on a regular basis. And there have been a lot of people complaining that the wait times getting across the border in some instances has been as much as 3 hours. Well, I can imagine sitting in the car for 3 hours. I would be a little upset as well. However, according to the spokesman from the Border Control, the reason for the long delays in entering and exiting at the Mexican border of late is in large part because a large percentage of San Diegans feel that the commute and the 3-hour delay is worth the expense to buy fruits and vegetables at a substantial discount in Mexico than it is to buy it in San Diego. And so it shouldn't come as any shock or surprise to anybody that there's also rumors in the Gringo Gazette that the Mexican government is thinking of imposing a tax on Americans who think they can save a few bucks by hopping across the border. Let me give you an idea, because it's a recent experience of mine. So I was in need of a new laptop. And obviously excited about the new lineup of Mac books that had just been introduced. So I took a trip down to the local Mac store in downtown Tijuana and got an assistant who spoke perfectly good English, who informed me that the only way I could get a MacBook Air for the advertised price that you will find on Mac's website for $9.99 would be is if I got someone from the U.S. to buy a MacBook Air in San Diego, take it out the box, and drive it across the border. Otherwise, if I just simply went online and ordered the book through a U.S. Mac store, the post office would assess me a import duty of $300. However, if I bought the laptop from the Apple store in Tijuana, I would pay a flat rate of $1,300. So that's how crazy things are on this side of the border. But let me once again also give you a boots on the ground idea of life in Rosarito Beach, Mexico. And I've said this many times before. I have noticed an increasing amount of Americans visiting Rosarito Beach than at any other time in the 2 years that I've lived here. And I see them quite often because we all seem to gravitate to the same local restaurants or adult beverage locations. And every single one of them that I get into conversation with is, first of all, either on permanent disability or retirement, and they live in the Rosarito Beach area for one simple reason, and that's financial. It is much easier to live on disability or social security on this side of the border than the other side of the border. I think I told you the story before. Local channel 10 in San Diego recently ran the story about a woman who works for Target. As you know, they are demanding higher minimum wages over at fast foods and department stores in the San Diego area. She says she earns $30,000 a year, but she cannot afford to live in the San Diego area on $30,000. So she lives in Tijuana and commutes every day to her job at Target. The rental she would pay for a one-bedroom apartment in San Diego, she said, would run her $1,500 a month. Yet in Tijuana, not only could she get a much larger one-bedroom apartment, but for half the price. And that's a substantial discount when you look at the current financial situation of most people who are simply living from paycheck to paycheck. We are truly living in unique times, my friends. Before I leave you, let me just give you a plug for my website at robbyknoll.com. You will find additional stories on the great mystery of the spat of bankers committing suicide. But also you will find links to all the programs I do on Spreaker, so you can listen at your leisure. Currently, I am starting off, while I learn the system, simply doing AM half-hour program, but I will soon be increasing that to an hour show. And if everything goes according to plan, quite possibly a 3-hour show. I would appreciate your feedback. If you will, you can find my email address on the website right under Flying Eagle Gold and Silver logo. You will see talk in person or email Jeff or Robbie. Just simply click on Robbie. It'll take you to an email link. Let me get your feedback on what you think about this particular format, and any other questions that you may have. Well, it looks like we're getting pretty close to the end of today's 30-minute segment. As I said, I'm still on the learning curve with this particular program, so there's no intro music, and